Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll be starting today in child's pose. So make your way down to your mat. Take your knees as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes together behind you and walk your hands out in front of you, stretching long and drop your forehead down to your mat. And start to bring your awareness to your breath. Let's take 3 really deep, long breaths just in your own time, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Breathing deeply into your lower abdomen, lower back, feeling all of that expand. And as you breathe, tap into the calm, tap into the stillness that you have at your core. And no matter what's going on in your life or in the world around you, you always have a place of absolute stillness at your center. So we're going to keep coming back to that today. Just take a moment to repeat to yourself, I am calm, I am centered. And lift your head up and walk your hands over to the right, stretching out at a diagonal to the right. Drop your forehead back down. Just trying to get a stretch along the left side of your body here. So you might even want to walk your left fingertips out a little bit more to feel a stretch from your waist along your side ribs on the left, all the way out to your fingertips. Keep breathing deeply into your lower abdomen. And then lift your head up and walk your hands over to the left. Stretching out at a diagonal, drop your forehead back down. So your torso is just on the inside of your left knee. You can walk your right fingertips out just a little bit more to get a nice stretch along the right side of your body. Good. Lift your head, walk your hands back to center, and then gently make your way into tabletop. So coming onto your hands and knees. Take a moment, make sure your shoulders are right over your wrists and your hips are right over your knees. Really strong, stable tabletop position here. And continuing with your breath, just start to gently arch and round your back with your breath. So as you inhale, lift your gaze, lift your tailbone, let your belly drop down towards your mat, arching your back. As you breathe out, press your hands into the floor, drop your chin to your chest, drop your tailbone down. Lift the middle of your back up to the sky. And again, inhale, lift your gaze, drop your belly down, arch your back. As you breathe out, drop your chin to your chest, press your hands into the mat, lift the middle of your back up. And one more time, inhale, arch, belly drops down. Exhale, press into your hands, let your tailbone drop down towards your mat. Good, and come back to neutral. Walk your hands out just a little further in front of you, getting ready to come into downward facing dog. Curl your toes under behind you and lift your hips up, just gently coming into your downward dog. Press your palms into the mat, lift your hips high, and take your time here. Feel free to bend each knee one at a time, pedaling your legs out. Just starting to find some movement here. Press into your hands, stretch through your armpits and your side ribs, lift your hips high. And just let this feel good. Find the stretches here that feel good to you and your body. And then shift your weight forward, coming into plank. So now your shoulders are over your wrists and your body is in one long line. Drop your right knee down to the mat and roll over onto a modified side plank. So the inside of your left foot is on the mat, right knee is down, Reach up with your left hand, gazing up at that left hand, stretch long. We're just going to take some gentle arm circles here. So reach that left arm forward, down, back, and up. Let's do that a couple more times. Just starting to gently find your full range of motion through that shoulder joint, lubricating that shoulder joint. Good. And drop that left hand back down to the mat. Pop back up into plank just briefly. And drop your left knee down to the mat. Coming onto a modified left side plank here. Reach up to the sky with your right hand. Gaze up at your hand if that feels good. And then reach forward with that hand over your head, down, back, and up. Just taking some gentle circles with that arm in your own time, 3 or 4 times, getting the full range of motion through your shoulder joint. Drop your right hand back down to the mat. Step back into plank and then lift your hips back up to downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Let your heels drop down towards the mat just a little bit more. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to here. There's no victory in having straight legs. And then look forward between your hands and slowly walk up to the top of your mat. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees deeply. Grasp opposite elbows with your hands. Drop your head down and release into ragdoll. So your torso is resting on your thighs. The crown of your head is reaching towards the floor. Your elbows are reaching towards the floor. Letting gravity lengthen your spine out here. Good. And then staying down, we're not coming up to standing yet. Drop your fingertips down to the mat in front of you. Heel toe your feet together. So your feet are touching each other. Straighten your legs out. Bend your right knee. Keep your left leg straight. Take your right hand around to the outside of your left leg. Elbow is on the inside of that right knee. And then reach your left hand up to the sky. If it's comfortable for your balance, you can gaze up at that left hand. Twisting around to the left. It should feel really good. Take a breath here as you twist. And then drop your fingertips back down to the mat. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Take your left hand around to the outside of your right lower leg. Reach your right hand up to the sky and twist to the right. So your elbow is on the inside of your left knee. Left hand is around the outside of your right leg and you're twisting to the right, reaching up with that right hand. Good, and gently drop back down. Fingertips go back down to the mat. Drop your head down one last time and just take a gentle forward fold. And then we'll slowly come all the way up to standing. Rolling up, your head comes up last. Drop your shoulders down, and as you stand here, feel really strong and tall and long, letting your shoulders drop down, letting the crown of your head lengthen. Find that stillness, find that calm at your core. And as you inhale, reach your arms out and up overhead, palms touch, gaze up at your hands. Exhale, fold forward all the way down, drop your head, bend your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, spine is long, lengthening. And exhale, plant your hands, bend your knees, step back to plank. Shift your weight forward a little bit, and then lower yourself all the way down. Belly and chest touch the mat at the same time. Uncurl your toes and come up to a gentle cobra. Pull your shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades in the back, and gaze up. Exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up, press your hands to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Bend your knees, gaze forward between your hands, and you can hop or step to the top of your mat, coming into a halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, drop your head. Inhale, sweep your arms out to the sides, coming all the way up, palms touch overhead. Exhale your hands back to your sides to mountain pose. Inhale again, sweep your arms out to the sides, all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward, drop your head down. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands, bend your knees, and step back to plank. Lower all the way down. You can hover in chaturanga or lower your belly down to the mat. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog, your choice. Exhale, lift your hips to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up to the sky, coming into three-legged dog. Stretch it long, press into your hands, and then swing that right leg through. Plant it between your hands. Pivot your left heel down to the mat and cartwheel your arms up to warrior two. Right knee is bent, lunging into that right knee. Gaze over your right finger. Take a breath here, finding that stillness. Straighten your right leg out. Reach forward over your right toes. Reach as long as you can towards that wall in front of you. And then reach your hand down towards your right ankle or shin. Lift your left arm up to the sky as you gaze up at your left hand. This is triangle. And let's do those same arm circles that we were doing before. So just stay here in triangle and take a few gentle circles with that arm, reaching forward and then down and then back and up. Again, just really finding some fluidity and mobility in that shoulder joint that doesn't get moved enough. Good. Come all the way back up to standing. Arms are still extended. Bend your right knee back to warrior two. Gaze is over your right middle finger. And as you inhale, reverse your warrior, reach your right hand up. Keep your right knee bent, lunging deeply. Exhale, right elbow to right knee. Reach over your left ear with your left arm for extended side angle. Long line of energy from your left fingertips to the outside edge of your left foot. Beautiful. And as you exhale, drop your left hand down to the mat. Pop your back heel up and reach your right hand up to the sky, twisting to the right. Pressing your left hand into the mat, reaching up with your right hand. Exhale your right hand down. Hands are framing your foot. Step your right foot back. Lift your hips up to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Lift your left foot up to the sky, coming into three-legged dog on the left. Stretch it long as you press into your hands. Exhale, swing your left foot through, plant it between your hands. Spin your back heel down. Right foot is perpendicular to your left. Cartwheel your arms up to warrior two. Lunge deeply into your left knee. Gaze is over your left middle finger. Take a breath here. Feeling strong and calm and centered. Straighten your left knee. Reach long over your left toes, reaching as far as you possibly can towards that wall in front of you. Once you've reached that point, then drop your left hand down to your shin or your ankle and reach your right hand up to the sky for triangle. Gaze is up at that right hand. And again, just take 3 or 4 of those nice, easy circles with your arm in your own time, finding the full range of motion of that shoulder joint. Good, and reach back up, coming back to triangle. Come all the way back up to standing. And then bend your left knee again for warrior two. Inhale, reach your left arm up to the sky, reverse your warrior. Exhale, left elbow to left knee, come into side angle. Your right arm reaches long at a diagonal over your right ear. Find that long line of energy. Good. Drop your right hand down to the mat next to your foot. Back heel comes up. Left arm reaches up to the sky, twisting to the left. Reaching up as long as you can. Really nice. Drop your left hand back down to the mat, frame your foot, and step your left foot back to downward dog. Lift your hips high. Take a deep breath here. And on your exhale, drop your knees down to the mat. Rest back on your heels, and we're going to come into half camel on each side, starting on the right side. So come up on your knees. Knees should be about hip distance apart. And you can do this with your toes curled or uncurled, whatever is comfortable for you. So you can try it like that with your toes curled under or your toes flat. Either way is totally fine. Bring your hands to your lower back. Fingertips are facing down. And squeeze your shoulders back behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Try to bring your elbows closer together as you open across your collarbones and gaze up. And then just lean slightly back in this position and start to reach your right fingertips towards your right heel behind you. And you can just barely touch your heel or you can grasp your heel. Once you're there, lift your left arm up to the sky and reach that left hand high so that you get a nice stretch across your chest. Keep breathing. And then before you come up, bring both hands back to your lower back to support your back and come all the way back up. You can take a minute to rest here. Drop your glutes down onto your heels. Good. And then we'll come back up. Reset. We'll do that on the other side. So bring your hands to your lower back, fingertips facing down. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Gaze is up, chest is open. Lean slightly back. And then reach your left fingertips towards your left heel. Once you feel stable, reach your right fingertips up to the sky and stretch that right hand long as you press your left hand into your heel. Take a breath here as you stretch. And then staying here, bring both hands back to your lower back. Come all the way back up and drop your glutes back down to your heels. Very good. Let's come into a child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as your mat, big toes are together. Walk your hands out, drop your forehead down. And just like we did at the beginning, take 3 really deep breaths. Feel free to exhale with your mouth open here. Just check in with how you're feeling, how your body is feeling at this point. See if your breathing feels a little bit deeper. And take a moment to come back to that feeling of stillness, that feeling of calm that you always have with you. I am calm. I am centered. Good, and then gently make your way into downward facing dog, lifting your hips up to the sky, pressing your palms into the mat. And then look forward between your hands, bend your knees, and you're going to hop into a wide squat. So your feet are very wide. I'll turn to face you. Feet are wide. If this is not comfortable for you, take a block or a folded blanket and you can put it underneath your glutes for support if that feels good. And coming into a wide squat, bring your elbows to the insides of your knees, palms touch in prayer position at heart center. And just slowly work your way into this, trying to bring your palms to the center of your chest. Let your shoulders drop down. And you're lengthening the crown of your head towards the sky, lengthening your tailbone towards your mat, pressing your elbows into the insides of your knees. Good. Take your right hand down to the mat. So your right tricep is on the inside of your right knee, palm is flat, and then reach your left hand up to the sky for a squat twist. Make sure your left knee isn't caving in here. Reaching up with your left hand, twisting around to the left. And come back to center. Bring your palms together. And we'll do the same thing on the left. So bring your left palm down to the mat. Left arm is on the inside of your left knee. Reach your right arm up to the sky, keeping your right knee from caving in. Reach up and twist. Very nice. Bring your hands back to the center of your chest. One more time, lengthen. Good. And then just sit your glutes down. We'll come into a seated position here. Stretch your right leg out long and bring the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right leg. Get your sit bones settled in, flex your right toes. Inhale your arms up to the sky, reach long. Exhale, fold over your right leg, reaching for your toes or your ankle or your shin, whatever you can reach. And then let your head drop down. Just enjoying this nice hamstring stretch over your right leg. As you breathe, when you inhale, try to find some length in your spine, find some space between each vertebrae. And then as you exhale, let yourself drop down just a little bit deeper. And gently come back up. Keeping your left knee bent, cross your right foot over that left knee. We're coming into a seated twist. Place your right hand on the mat behind you and squeeze your knee into your chest. Turn your head so you're gazing over your right shoulder, twisting to the right. And as you twist, remember to lengthen your head, the crown of your head up towards the sky so that you're not caving into this, you're lengthening and twisting. Good, and slowly come out of this. We'll switch sides. So lengthen your left leg out in front of you. Bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Flex your left toes. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up, stretch long. Exhale, fold over your left leg and grasp your toes or your shin or your ankle. Just take this in your own time as you inhale. Find space in your spine. As you exhale, release and drop down. Gently come back up, keeping your right knee bent. Cross your left foot over your right knee. Left hand goes behind you on the mat. Squeeze your knee into your chest and gaze over your left shoulder. Again, lengthening and gently twisting around to the left. From your tailbone to the crown of your head. Very nice, and release. Let's come down to a reclined position. So drop all the way down onto your back. Pull your knees into your chest for a moment. Just give your knees a nice squeeze and then drop your feet back down to the mat. Take your right ankle over your left knee. We're coming into a reclined pigeon. So take your hands around the front of your left knee if that's comfortable. If that's a little too much, you can just grasp behind your knee. So you're grasping your hamstring. Either way, drop your head back down. Let your shoulders relax and release. And gently pull that left knee in towards you. Trying to let your right knee open out to the side just a little bit more. This is a really nice, gentle way to open up your hips, finding a little more space there as you gently squeeze your knee in. As you do this, breathe into your lower abdomen and make sure you're not holding tension in your shoulders or your jaw or your tongue. Very good. Slowly release and switch sides. So plant your right foot on the floor, take your left ankle over your right knee, and grasp behind your knee or underneath your knee. Drop your head back and just take a few breaths to gently and slowly squeeze that right knee in towards your chest as your left knee opens out a little more to the side. Checking in for tension in your shoulders or your neck, your jaw. Breathing deeply into your lower belly. Good, and gently release. Bring both feet back down to the mat. Pull your knees into your chest. And then let your knees open out to the sides. Reach in between your legs. Grasp the outer edges of your feet coming into happy baby. Let your knees drop down towards the mat on either side of your torso. The soles of your feet are facing up towards the sky. Feel free to close your eyes and sink into this. You can even rock from side to side if that feels good. And then pull your knees into your chest again. Lengthen your right leg out, keeping your left knee squeezed in tight. And then let your left knee cross over your body to the right, coming into a reclined twist. Reach your left arm out. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can gaze at your left hand. And in this twist, play with the position of your left hand. Sometimes it feels good to let your palm be face down on the floor, or you can let that palm face up to the sky. Just play with what feels good to you. Good. Pull both knees back into your chest. Extend your left leg out long. Squeeze your right knee into your chest. And then gently start to let it cross over your body. Twisting that knee over. Reach your right arm out to the side. Turn your head to gaze at your right hand if that's comfortable. And again, just play with the position of that right hand as it's extended out. It can be palm down or palm up. Another variation is to even take a cactus arm. So bending your elbow to 90 degrees, and sometimes that can let your right shoulder sink down a little closer to the mat. Just whatever feels good to your body here. And bring both knees back into your chest one last time. And then release your legs. Coming into final relaxation, bring your feet as wide as your mat. Bring your hands really wide out to the sides. Take a moment to make any adjustments you need to make, get the wiggles out, find a comfortable Shavasana. And then once you find that position, just let your body sink into the mat. Letting go of any effort. The work is all done. And your only job right now is to completely relax. Coming back to that sense of stillness. Let everything release. And just take this one moment in your day to let your body relax, let your mind go. When you're ready, you can start to bring some movement into your fingers and your toes. Feel free to take a nice long body stretch. Stretch your arms up overhead and pull your knees into your chest and roll over onto one side and bring yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Once you find your seated position, let your hands fall closed if they're not already. Bring your palms together at heart center. Let your shoulders drop back and down. Lengthen the crown of your head up towards the sky. Coming back to your breath, repeat to yourself one more time, I am calm, I am centered. And let's take one last deep breath together. So let all the air out of your lungs first. And then inhale through your nose, breathing deeply, filling your lungs, filling your belly. And then exhale, let it go. Full and complete exhale as you bow your head forward with gratitude. Namaste.